Christopher.
If you hear weird noises, that is Chris's roommate, who is apparently making ASMR in the background.
Ooh, he's watching Stargate. Yummy, yummy. Oh gosh.
I'm begging you, please stop. Such is the travails of making a podcast in college, after hours. Still making noise, jeez. Alright. Thank you guys for tuning in. Today, we'll be talking about the Big Three of America. Jeez. It's making lots of noise. Alright, the Big Three of America, Chrysler, Dodge, and Ford. Sorry, no, Chrysler, Chevy, Ford.
Isn't it
Chrysler, GM, Ford.
Yeah, Chrysler, GM, Ford. You could also call them Chevy, because that's basically the brand.
There's been lots of brands, if you want to go to the Wikipedia for those brands. But,
I don't want to.
lots of brands within them, but basically, as the majority of the American car makers, I think technically Hennessy, the people that made like those 1,000 horsepower Camaros, Hennessy is producing a supercar called the Venom, which is cool. Not really my interest because I'll never afford it. And there's a couple of other American car makers that are small scale. But these big three are going to be the majority. The majority of the that's basketball. The majority of the wrong big three is basketball, but it'll be the majority of the American cars you see on the road.
There we go. Car companies.
Ford, GM, Chrysler.
Oh, that's small. There you go.
There we are. For those watching on YouTube, that's what they look like. And under these companies, you have umbrella. I think kind of an umbrella of different smaller companies. I think Ford owned Jaguar at one point.
Really? I didn't know that. Huh.
Yeah, they did a lot of fun stuff in the 90s. Ford did, but kind of brought it back. And of course, Chrysler is now Fiat merged, which is probably the best thing for Chrysler, but we'll go into that later.
Yeah.
But as far as the cars they produce, which is what actually interests us, they all compete with each other more or less, and it's interesting to see what they put out. So Chris, kind of opening topic, which of the of the three companies do you think makes the best, like, everyman's car?
Everyman's car. So you're talking about like more like daily drivers.
So yeah, like your daily driver, like your basic. This is a
So
sedan.
your Camrys, but not Japanese. Yeah. Okay.
Camrys, but not Japanese.
Hands down, of these three, I would choose the Toyota Camry. But
that said, wasn't the Geo Prism that was run out of GM, I believe.
Yeah, Chevy. GM.
So that would have been technically, it was the Camry.
I'd still choose the
yeah.
Well, it was the same car.
Yeah, I mean, same car, just rebadge engineered.
I mean, if you're talking, we talked about post 2008, so
if we're talking post 2008,
definitely the Toyota Camry.
But out of these three, the best kind of daily driver.
Out of these three, yes, ignoring my ignoring of the rules. Because GM doesn't make anything besides trucks, do they? It's technically Chevy who does it.
We're counting the umbrella companies. For example, GM also owns Opel.
Yeah.
Which is kind of the German side of things, and Vauxhall, and it's all it's Buick. So if it's a Vauxhall or Opel, it's also Buick. So you see, like, there's apparently a decent German stance culture for Vauxhalls and Opels, and it's all Buick Regals, which I find interesting because I actually like the current Buick Regal.
Yeah.
But that aside.
See, I really don't. I'm not a fan of the Ford. Is it the Focus?
We have the Focus, the Fusion.
Yeah.
The Fusion is their bigger car.
Yeah.
Outside of the Mustang. The Chevy Cruze is kind of their current mainline, and I mean,
For
for
GM,
example,
yeah.
GM current low bid small car that's not the Sonic, which is garbage, is the Chevy Cruze. And I've been in a Chevy Cruze. It's cheaply made. These are all cheaply made. If you've been inside Chrysler's 3 offerings, they're cheaply made.
I don't think I've ever been inside a Chrysler at all.
Have you been inside a Dodge?
Yeah, of course.
Chrysler owns Dodge.
Well, I mean,
when I say Chrysler, I mean Chrysler.
Like Dodge makes cars, don't they?
They do.
I always
Specifically
forget
the Challenger,
that. No,
the Charger.
my grandparents own. Of course, never mind.
Have you ever been arrested?
Fair enough.
Chances are you've ended up inside a Chrysler. No,
I hate calling them GM and Chrysler because it's not.
True.
It's not GM and Chrysler, is it? It's Chevy and Dodge and Ford. I mean, that's the 3
and
brands.
Fiat and.
Well, yeah, but when you're talking about these 3 American companies, the American cars that come out of them that you think about are Chevy, Dodge, and Ford, not GM, Chrysler. Like,
all right, so for Everyman's Car, we're gonna discount Chrysler because it's technically a luxury brand. We're gonna discount everything from GM except for Chevy and GMC. Though GMC is technically luxury, it's crap luxury, so I'll count it with the normal man's car.
well,
And then for Ford, it's Ford.
yeah, it's Ford.
We're not going to count Lincoln for the everyman's car. So, Dodge, Chevy, Ford. What do you think is the everyman's car? I mean, you can go, for example, Dodge is real. You have like the Neon, then you had kind of nothing, and then you had after the Neon you had the Dart. They also had the Dodge Avenger, which was kind of a mid-sized car, supposed to be like, well, you liked the Charger, but the Charger is big and expensive.
What was the Dodge sedan called? Did they have one?
It was the Avenger.
Right. The Avenger.
There was also the Dodge Stealth at that point.
Okay. All right. Dig it. I think Chevy puts out the best sedans, everyday cars. They're at least the ones I've been in, they have legroom.
I will say, apparently, like the Malibu and the Impala, the newly redesigned. Apparently, those were really good. And of course, they got.
No, and I've always been a fan of the Impala. The Malibu, I don't think I've actually been in a Malibu. I've seen Malibus; they look all right. But
it's basically, I think one of them is just basically a longer version than the other. I'll pick the shorter version, whichever one it was. I look at them, and they're all made the same. Like, I do have a soft spot for
I don't
Ford Fusion.
if you're talking about everyday cars, I don't have an issue with that. It's a car that you're driving from point A to point B,
But
so.
you look at that car you're driving from point A to point B, and then you look at basically the same price point that Honda's offering.
Yeah.
That Toyota's offering. Even though I think Toyota is kind of suffering right now in anything that isn't the Prius or like a crossover. One thing, so I tend to value the Ford Fusion because I like it I tend to like the styling. I know you don't like the fat front end, but it has a little bit of Aston Martin grill.
Yeah.
Ford 2016 Ford Fusion, 2017. Don't click that green one. Click the silver one. So the bottom looks a bit fat, but when you see it like from the side, it's like long enough. It actually has a hood, and I don't hate that Ford grille that you see right there that everybody mistakes Aston Martins for Ford Fusions now.
I don't know how you mistake that.
When you see it on the road, it's different. This is a weird focus picture. If you'll just click through more pictures.
Maybe I'm just too much of a Aston Martin fan to.
Yeah, maybe you are. But like, look at that red one down there. Oh, not that. Yeah, that one, the maroon one. It's longer,
Yeah.
It has more of it has more room, And though I like this, I think the Ford Focus is better. I feel they put more into it. And you can get the Ford Focus ST, like that one right there, next to the, not that one, back, side, there we go. You can get the ST, this is the RS.
Yeah.
You can get the ST, you can get little rally versions of them. And there's more, I feel, more options and versatility with it.
Well, I mean, if you're talking about the hatchback, sure. I hadn't realized.
Oh well, why would you buy a Focus that it wasn't a hatchback? Is my question.
I was forgetting what the Focus was actually. No, the RS hatchback is amazing. I love that thing.
I mean, yes, they're cheaply made, but I have to say, like, as a small hatchy car, I think it's fine. I'll revisit the RS and the ST later on, like with the Fiesta ST, when we touch on performance.
Yeah, no, I was thinking of the Fusion when you said Focus, but I don't mind the Focus so much if it's so long as it's the RS.
What if it's not the RS? Because it's
not the RS. I'm a tall person. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Okay.
It's not. And this is in the Malibu too, and the I'm blanking on the other name right now.
Impala.
Yeah, the Impala. And I'm sure it's the same in the Dodge.
The Dodge Dart is pretty small.
Yeah, they're not built smartly on the inside. I mean, you just have no space.
As American cars are.
That's just American cars though. So who am I to complain?
So
as an American.
So have we really reached an agreement on what? So you say that Chevy.
Yeah, I'd say Chevy.
Better. All right. So moving from everyman's car to everyman's crossover, who do you think has the better crossover?
Crossover.
Because
I gotta tell you, what's the Ford's cross? I'm blanking on.
There's the Ford Explorer, Edge, Escape.
Edge, yeah, Edge. That's what I'm looking for.
They have an ST version, which apparently is garbage, as for an ST badge, but is like just like a sporty hatchback. That's we could do a whole episode on sport hatchbacks and how that's a terrible idea.
Yeah.
That's like racing Cadillac Eldorados, which you can do, and
Dude,
it's real fun to watch.
I love sport hatchbacks.
But crossover sport is kind of lame, but I think
there's no point to them. They don't work off road. I mean, the sport, and yeah, if you're gonna drive it, sure, you can get some crazy speed out of things like the Grand Cherokee
or the Trackhawk. Which I'll go into because that's Jeep, which now counts into because Jeep is also a Chrysler product.
You can't call the Grand Cherokee an everyday driver though, because it's not. It's way too expensive. If you go with Cherokee, Cherokee, sure. I like the Cherokee.
But
and actually, they stopped making the Liberty, didn't they?
The Liberty, I think they rebranded the Renegade. If you.
Oh yeah, it's a Renegade.
I don't actually hate it as a small crossover.
I just spelled that right.
Okay, I don't hate, like, a lot of people hate on this because it's a subcompact SUV that gets like 35 miles per gallon.
This is pretty good mileage.
Which is pretty good. But it is trail rated, and this is something that Dodge does.
Yeah.
Dodge, anything Chrysler except for Chrysler the brand itself, has, like, this is track rated or this is trail rated like with Jeeps. And it gives you confidence at a selling point saying, oh yeah, you can take this to do what it's meant to. This isn't just a.
It's not just a big.
You don't just have a Jeep Cherokee or Jeep Compass, which are kind of the family. If this sees a gravel road, it'll be the best day of its life. But they still say trail rated, and they still apparently can be driven off road.
Oh my goodness, they can. We rented a Grand Cherokee to go to Colorado one time in high school. I mean, we were driving through like very, very loose sand, on crazy roads. The Grand Cherokee is amazing. It's an amazing vehicle, and it's what crossovers should be able to do, or at least partially, but most refuse to.
Which is that's really why I say that Chrysler wins this round.
Easy. I mean, you can't even talk about the Chevy ones. I mean, they're just
for Chevy, and this goes for Buick and. Even for Ford a little less because Ford did have the Explorer, For Chevy, it seems that all their crossovers are basically you take a Chevy Cruze or a Malibu and you stick a bicycle pump in it and pump it up.
Yeah, and it raises up a little bit, yeah.
And you raise it up and kind of you beasting a normal car. Because that's what they are. They're just big normal cars, but they can't be long.
Yeah, and that's fine. It's just I don't think there's a point to that. There's unless you're talking about, hey, I have issues getting into smaller cars. Sure, but get a truck or a real SUV. I just don't see the point in a crossover. You got a bit of extra space, maybe a bit of extra legroom because of the height alone, but it's just a car that gets worse gas mileage at that point.
I think some of it comes from regulation for like cars that get low gas mileage, and where they can say, oh well, this is technically an SUV or whatever, and then they can justify it getting worse gas mileage, because Americans want big cars. Why do you think the Cadillac Escalade, or the Chevy Suburban? Why do you think those are a thing? Yeah. It's not because we all want to off-road. It's because we want big, long cars in America, and because you either go subcompact for a car or you just go SUV. There's not a place for the Cadillac Eldorado anymore.
No, of course not.
It's a dinosaur.
As much as I actually love that car.
I love the car. I mean, it's the Coupe de Ville. There's just you can't have a long, big car.
Or even in a Monte Carlo. I get that's more of a sporty type, but I love those.
Well, depending what decade you're
in. True. Very true.
But because of that, the crossover is just basically you inflate a normal car. It's a normal car that ate too much.
Yeah,
you get to have
it's useless.
Yeah, you get to have the space and you get to have the room inside.
But you really don't. I mean, I was wanting to talk about the Edge because I've been in one a few times actually, and I was in the front seat, passenger seat. I was probably 14, 15 at the time. Couldn't drive yet.
Slightly short.
I was like 6 foot when I was 14. But I had no room. I mean, my seat all the way back. My knees were pressed up against. I had never been in a more uncomfortable seat in my life. And it's including airplanes going to England, which is like 7-8 hours. It's just like, oof.
Yeah, it's not.
And so you don't even get the leg room in some of these vehicles. Now, given I haven't been in the new ones, but a lot of the ones you'll be buying are from the past few years.
You take the hood and the trunk, the area that those would have, and then you just, instead of adding it to length, you just add it to height.
Yeah.
Basically.
Because
Americans just
the trunk isn't bigger either.
Yeah. The trunk isn't bigger. It's vertical space. When are you going to store a Christmas tree?
The one good thing about crossovers, and I can't argue with this because it's just the nature of how being bigger. It's the fact that they're just safer. I mean, when you have more weight to your car, if you get in an accident, you are way less likely to get injured in a severe way. No, yeah, there's a chance of rolling, whatever, it's worse.
There is a higher chance of rolling.
But at the same time, it's not too much of a higher chance to go, okay, if I get T-boned in a Malibu versus, say, a Renegade, I'm going to bet you're going to be a lot safer in the Renegade. No matter, excluding airbags, because they're all about the same at this point. It's just you have a lot more weight to you, so you're not going to get thrown around as much.
See, that's another thing Americans like, is the weight.
Yeah.
But let me tell you this. Back in the day, before airbags, before even collapsible steering wheels, if you hit somebody in a Lincoln Mark III, you would know for like 15 minutes because the hood is so long.
Yeah.
And it's such a wide car that you're on a bench seat, so you just slide to the other side of the car.
I mean,
they're made of steel. And it's again that like, oh, it's safer, yes, but you could also have the same safety if you had a Cadillac that was also that big.
Yeah, no,
I'm saying Cadillac a lot because those are the giant cars.
I'm comparing to the smaller cars that we're
compared to the
saying.
smaller cars.
Yeah,
it's just safer. But I feel
Malibu
that
Impala or
that if
Camry,
you were to just deregulate big cars, instead of having to upgrade to.
Well, it's not just big cars. It's just the regulations across the board.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much safety you have to stick in these things. It's part of the reason it's so expensive. They've spent so much more time meeting the regulations. I mean,
backup cameras, like front braking is now like people are talking about standardizing that. like the automatic braking, which
Yeah.
when that happens, I will just buy used cars from before that was supposed to
Oh
happen.
yeah, no, that's
I hate automatic braking.
that's a whole. It can be useful, but I don't think it should be mandated for sure, because not all people are bad at driving.
Some of us want to hit people.
That's also true. Some people want to hit people, and not that that's legal, but
But give us the choice, darn it.
yeah, it's fine.
I find the bad thing about crossovers is that though you do get to sit higher up and people like that, it also means that it's more deadly for pedestrians and bicyclists.
Oh, sure.
Because guess what? What happens when you get hit by, like, a Plymouth Rambler or whatever, Plymouth Duster? You get hit by a Plymouth Duster, it shatters your calf bone or whatever.
Sure.
Your thighs are real bruised. You bounce onto the hood. The hood's long, so you roll for about 15 feet.
Yeah.
And then you're pretty much okay. You kind of bounce up onto the hood, and in modern cars, the hood is actually supposed to be like, there has to be a gap between the hood and the actual engine.
Right.
So that there's like a little bit of bounce and cushion for you to bounce off, instead of, just hitting hard metal.
Well, yeah, I could get away with getting hit by one of these.
You could get away,
but you get someone who's 5 foot or 5'4",
and
it's you're hitting the rib cage.
You're hitting the rib cage. You're instead of them going up and over, that you just send them flying.
Yeah.
And for example, a bicyclist, right? If I hit a bicyclist with a cyclist with my car, they're going to bounce off my windshield, and I'll be like, whoops, I didn't see you. If I hit a cyclist with a lifted truck, the man's dead. He's bumper level, If I hit with a GMC, what is it, Yukon?
Yeah.
He's immediately dead. And that's why I rant against crossovers, though I think Jeep should be allowed to make them, because Jeep crossovers can go. And I think there is a place.
I think it is. I think it's a poor translation to call a Jeep a crossover,
well,
unless you're talking about the Compass
I'm talking about
or
the Compass
Cherokee.
And the Cherokee.
The Grand Cherokee, I would say is
just
more
SUV.
towards the type like a Land Rover,
SUV proper.
Yeah, a proper off-roading SUV. But yeah, Cherokee, Compass, yeah, you can call those crossovers.
The Renegade is also technically a crossover.
Yeah.
It's on the it's on the Willys Jeep kind of side of crossover.
Yeah, but I think that's iffy. But of course, it's just those two. So I guess they do make them, but they're useful crossovers.
Question.
Don't you dare call a Wrangler a crossover.
I won't.
If that's what you're going for.
Okay.
No.
The Ford Bronco, is that a crossover?
Ford Bronco.
Or the Chevy K5 Blazer.
It's a truck that doesn't have a trunk. Or a fixed. What are those called? The things that stick on top of trunks.
Hard shell or whatever.
Yeah, it's a truck with a fixed hard shell, which is stupid, but.
I mean, part of me wants to say it is a crossover because.
Does it have seats back there?
Sometimes.
Oh.
Like, depending on the.
I don't know.
What year?
Oh, look it up.
Is the Ford Bronco a crossover?
Let's just look at it and decide. I don't trust the internet.
Okay.
What year are we?
I think it's 2020. This is more or less what it looks like.
See, this is why I don't. It's just a truck. I mean, it kind of looks like the Renegade in a sense, and it also is like from this green picture. It's just a truck. This is looks like Renegade. This looks like a truck. It's just. So I think it's just a bad design for a truck. Can we agree on that?
It was a Baja. All of these are like renderings too. I don't think.
No, you're spot on with the Baja. It's like a beach vehicle, like what you take to the beach.
It's like a Baja, off-roader.
Yeah.
Which is basically what the Ford Raptor is doing right now.
Yeah. Oh, don't get me started. I love that thing.
We'll get to trucks in a minute.
Yeah.
And also get to performance cars in a minute. So we've done crossovers. How about SUVs proper? Who do you think wins that? Because
the people who decide to stop making them make a truck. I mean, if you call a Grand Cherokee an SUV, I think
it is an SUV in my book.
Honestly, I think it has actually.
They have the Grand Cherokee Trackhawk, which you can track and has like 500 horsepower. They have the Dodge Durango, right? That's a SUV. Of course, you have the there's that one with a hood scoop in black right there on the screen.
Yeah.
It's like it has an SRT version.
Looks like a minivan almost right there.
Yeah.
Oh, we gotta talk about minivans.
Boy, vans. Yeah. Does Ford make a minivan anymore?
I don't know, actually.
I don't think so.
Well, anyway, yeah,
You just don't
I'm
like
not
SUVs.
a fan of SUVs.
I'm not a
see,
fan
that's what
either.
I don't want to call a Cherokee an SUV, even though I kind of agreed to it earlier.
It is an SUV.
It's just not, though. It's an off-roader. I mean...
See, I always saw it as a lifted wagon, more or less. Like the,
I think cars like it's just a luxury off-roader. I mean, that's what Land Rover does. They make luxury off-road cars.
Look up the Wagoneer.
For...
Was it Chevy Wagoneer? Jeep Wagoneer.
Yeah.
Look at that. This is like the DNA of the Cherokee, more or less. It's an SUV.
It's like a Liberty.
It's a real good SUV. And I mean, I love the Wagoneer. Don't get me wrong, but
no, I'm not. I like the Wagoneer.
Sports utility vehicle.
Oh, I'm still.
You're still in.
Yeah, sports utility vehicle. I guess you're right. I see. So when I think SUV, I'm automatically associating it with something like the Excursion.
Something that like mom taking her children to soccer, and they're rich enough that they don't want a yeah.
I'm thinking this thing, which is like that to me is an SUV. That's always what I've seen SUVs as. So that's why it's hard for me to say, okay, the Cherokee's an SUV. I don't know. I know it is. I don't like.
There's too much of a stigma related to SUV. Who makes the better SUV though? Because there's like the Chevy Suburban, which has been going since like World War II.
If I'm gonna cave and say that the Grand Cherokee is an SUV, then it's Jeep.
So
Jeep makes the best SUV. Yeah,
I think Jeep, as far as
hands down, that's the best of the cars.
As off-roading is real good.
It's such a good vehicle though. Not just that. It's just it has a comfortable interior. Yes, it is pricey, but it's just a good vehicle all around. I mean, especially since the fact that you can get the track version, which is just
the track, which is crazy.
It's like you want a sports car, but you have to fit kids in.
That comes.
Honey, I found a great SUV.
So. Where were we with the normal car? What did we say was the best company for just like an everyday car?
Did we decide? I don't remember if we decided. I think we said Ford.
I said Ford.
I said Chevy.
Mainly because what is Chevy putting out normal car right now? The Cruze, technically. The Cruze hatchback is not bad. The Cruze hatchback, like right there.
I do like the Cruze. Not been in one.
It's not nice inside. It's real cheap. Do you see that like white one on the very far end, top row? I was recently in one of those, and I was like, "This is not great as a car."
I don't know. I really don't have an opinion. My problem is I'm a Toyota convert for everyday cars like this. What are these called again?
This is the Cruze.
No, these types of cars.
Daily driver.
Yeah, daily driver, whatever. But.
I mean, I look at the Cruze, and then I look at the Ford Focus, and I'll take the Ford Focus any day.
That's fair.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, the Ford Focus, I feel, is a better quality.
I do like the look of this hatchback, though.
Yeah, the hatch is actually pretty nice.
Have you been inside?
Yeah, I've been inside. It's just, I look at that, but I'm also like...
Does it compare to the RS and Sport, or...?
I think they have an RS, actually, version.
No, or the Focus RS, yeah, does it compare to it, or...?
It's not numbers-wise. It's basically just...
You know they stopped making that, the Ford RS, or Focus RS, yeah.
And the Fiesta ST, I think they also stopped making.
Really? I don't get that. They were making a lot of money off it, too.
It's called, we're gonna downsize, and we're gonna go all...
They're trying to go all electric right now.
Yeah, they're trying to go all electric.
And that episode's gone forever. But
we talked about in the last episode.
Yeah. We have some lost episodes.
Yeah, a couple lost.
Eventually, this is going to be on a new channel, but I just did it earlier before the episode, and now I have to wait 24 hours to stream, so I'll upload this video on that one. Okay. Probably tomorrow.
So for daily drivers, I'm just going to say Ford. I feel the Focus has better quality than the Cruise.
Yeah.
Also, that's another thing that Chevy has kind of failed at. Because with Dodge, they just can't make a good compact car to save their lives. Like, they make the Dodge Neon, which was crap, except for the SRT, and even that was kind of crap. Like, you see these, and they're just bad. They're just falling apart, and it's not because people don't take care of them.
Can we just go to, hold on. Wait, can't be Japanese. I gotta, Oh, 1913. Yeah, there we go. This thing. This is just buy one of these. I mean, they're great. And if you need a new part for it, just go to scrapyard. You can grab it off a Toyota Camry or another Prism. So
my thing with Chevy was they can't keep a car name to save their lives.
Oh no, it's horrible.
It's the Cruise, and then it's the Sonic, and then before that there was like the Aveo. Like, they just, for example, with Toyota, you look at a Toyota and it's been a Camry, and though the Camry has been many different cars over its life, I think it originally came off the Toyota Celica name brand. It was like a trim level.
I didn't know they did a Corolla hatchback. I have not been keeping up with their Corollas.
The Corolla hatchback is actually apparently really good.
It's
look
Toyota.
At that blue one right there. Yeah, but like it's apparently really good.
That looks lovely, even with the graininess right
now.
And it comes stick. Come on, load in.
It comes stick.
Oh, it comes.
You can, and apparently it's one of the best stick shifts on the market right now to learn on, at least.
Okay.
So, you see the Corolla and you see all of that. Like, they've been able to name this car the Corolla since forever, since the 70s here.
Yeah.
And
if you think about it, America's car industry has been so whacked up, besides Ford and buying and each other all the time, that they've just been killing brands constantly. I mean, it's Ford's. The Focus has only been around how long, right?
It's been around since the 90s, roughly. There's a lot of weird Ford naming with the like the Mondeo. It's like brand engineering, so across the world it's different badges.
Yeah.
And like there's Ford Europe, so you have like the Fiesta. You couldn't get the Fiesta here forever. And they just brought it recently. And now they're killing it. But you see Ford has a better version. Like for example, the Fusion has been going on forever. But Ford has at least vaguely significant naming, where it's like, if you get a Ford Focus,
it often starts with an F.
Often starts with an F.
Yeah.
But at least when you say like a Focus, there's been Focuses out for a long time now, like since mid '80s, and before that you had the Escort. You kind of had and then before that you had the Crown Victoria, and you had a pretty steady naming convention, versus Chevy, which has been swapping names and swapping nameplates, other than the Impala and the Malibu, which nobody cares about anyway, because they're killing that too.
True.
They've been swapping their like cheap little car nameplates out like crazy. Alright, yeah, now trucks.
This is something I know a lot more about.
Here we go, trucks. So, with trucks, you have 4 brands, and it's the big 3 American car. You have Chevy and GMC, which are the same. GMC is just a luxury version, and I think GMC shouldn't exist. I feel like it just takes up space, and they could just have a GMC trim level on a Chevy truck. But that is beside the point, because apparently GMC makes money. Then you have Ford, and then you have Dodge. And who makes the better truck? There's a lot of fanboys.
There we go. One without GM.
No, there's a GM right there.
No, it's a Ram.
No.
No, I mean, I wanted a Silverado because if you're buying a new truck and you buy a GM, you have made a mistake because you could just buy from the same company, Chevy.
You're saying GMC.
Yeah, sorry. Same thing.
So first of all, Ford trucks.
Motors,
what is the best Ford truck for like vaguely modern? So speaking vaguely modern, like 90s and after. Because there's the Ranger, there's technically the Bronco.
The Ranger, I'm never gonna back the Ranger. It was fine for a small farm truck, whatever, but it's not. I don't think it was ever a great truck. If you're getting a Ford truck,
get an F-150.
Get an F-150. I mean, it's the best selling truck in the world for a reason.
I like the idea of the Ranger though because.
Yeah, I can see that. Now, I'm a big fan of the Raptor. I think it is an amazing vehicle, of course, and I'm big on off-roading. It can off-road.
At least the V8 could.
Well, the V6 can too.
But the V8 was like the better one.
Oh, of course. But that thing's just a beast. And it's still technically an F-150.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're getting a Ford, get an F-150. The Ranger's fine if you're in a small truck. It's just you get the same gas mileage is the thing, so there's no point.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. Apparently, the new Ranger is a little better.
Yeah.
For me, it's the actual bed because you can't get a great bed in the Ranger because it's a small truck. Mm-hmm. It's adequate, but at least you can get a real extended bed in a Ford F-150.
Yeah. Actually, they stopped doing that, haven't they? Extended beds. I don't think they have them anymore.
I guess there's also the dealer can I'll slap a new bed on there for you, like an extended bed.
But yeah, no, they don't. I think the max you can't get an 8-foot anymore. I know that.
Huh.
Well, that's been a while.
You can get an 8-foot.
The standards. I think the standard's a 4-foot with the 4 cab, isn't it? The 4-door cab.
I don't know. And then do we have Chevy?
Chevy,
I assume from what I recall, you are a Ford truck boy. So.
No,
really?
The Silverado I believe is the best truck in the market.
Really?
For full size, for sure.
What about the Colorado?
The Colorado's not full size.
That's a smaller truck.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. I thought you were meaning. Yeah. Never mind. Colorado.
You can get one that comes with its own light bar, apparently, which is real neat.
That's nice. I mean, I think it is a lot better than the Ranger for what it does. It's just kind of that counterpart. And you could make an argument that the Raptor is kind of the counterpart there.
Yeah.
Which is partially true.
It wants to be the Raptor.
It wants to be the Raptor. It's not the Raptor though. I think the Raptor and I are in different classes. Just because the Raptor is
a full size.
Yeah, it's a full size. It honestly does look smaller just because of how big of wheels they stick on it. But yeah, I do like it though. It's a pretty good truck.
And then comes Ram, which
they don't have a smaller version, do they?
Of the Colorado?
Of the the Ram.
I think there was something called the Rebel that came out, but that might have been just a reskin for
I think that's
1500.
The GM. I know there's a smaller GMC, but
I don't know.
Which I think is just basically the Colorado.
Is it the Chevy Avalanche?
But the Ford, of course, have they actually restarted the Ranger yet, or are they about to do that?
They've released the Ranger. Okay. You can buy the Ranger.
Yeah. But this Ram, I don't think there's a smaller version. They just don't have one.
No.
I know they have a Jeep-like vehicle.
Yeah.
But there's also just Jeep.
So Ram is interesting because it used to be just Dodge trucks, right? It was Dodge Ram, and Ram was kind of their cool truck thing.
Yeah.
And then they've been, because of the Fiat merger, they've kind of been split into their own brand.
Mm-hmm.
I don't hate the Dodge trucks, the Ram trucks.
From 2004, I think, maybe 5, maybe 3, somewhere around there. Up until 14 or 13, Dodge Rams were horrible trucks. Horrible trucks. They were cheaply made. I mean,
yeah.
Ford trucks are kind of cheaply made, but they're solid trucks and they last a long time. Chevys are by far the best made trucks of these three, of specifically the full size trucks. Rams till 2013-14, they were so cheaply made, and it was they just random things would break inside the consoles and stuff.
That also goes for literally until 2013-14 Chrysler products, just in general.
That is also true. Nowadays, I really don't know. I haven't looked at Rams because my experiences with them in the past have been horrible.
My boss has a 1500. I don't know what year it is. Kind of
looks like
this
that.
Side of 2010.
Yeah.
1500. His is still when it was Dodge.
Yeah. So yeah, it would have been.
It's not. It's not too bad. Like the actual qualities of it's a truck. So if you have plastic on the inside of a truck, that's no big deal.
Yeah.
You know, if you have plastic on the inside of a normal car,
it's not like they weren't solid vehicles. They just don't last long either. My friend back home, he has a I want to say 14, 15, and it's I think it's a Ram. It might be a Dodge Ram, but I can't remember when they switched over to just Ram. But they've had to rebuild that thing so many times with different parts, especially the bearings. The bearings always go out on Rams.
Okay.
But
see, you actually know about these things. All I know is that my boss hasn't had much trouble with it.
What? How many miles ago? Because they started having trouble with theirs when it was I don't know, 80,000 miles, 90,000 miles.
He lives pretty far away.
Big problems.
He lives like a 40-minute commute, I think, and he's been driving it basically every day, and he drives it pretty hard because just work and towing people out of dumb things that they do on campus. Somebody drove their car to the middle of over by the soccer field to lay something and got themselves stuck, and he pulled them out, and he seemed to be doing pretty okay. So maybe he just has a really well built one randomly. I just know.
Well, I mean, it differs from car to car. It's different parts, different something else going wrong in the manufacturing, but just in general, I don't like Rams.
I know the Dodge Dakota from back in the day started like the round truck phenomena.
Oh, I hate round. I do hate the looks of these. This is the best one in my opinion, but they just look. I mean, they're trying to look like all fancy and like sports cars almost, or like, you know.
In the 90s, everything was square. Like, from
just
the 80s.
Get your dangs.
And then
it's really not improving gas mileage. It's not what this is for. It's styling.
They were all square, and then up until like mid 90s, and then the Dodge Dakota came out, and it was like styled cool for the days, and suddenly Ford and Chevy did not know what to do with themselves.
Yeah.
I say Ford wins in this as having the best, only because at work the two cars I drive are a Ford F-150 and a Chevy C10. The only car that's died on me is the C10.
It's not really meant for work. C10.
It's small trucks. We just zip them around, and we beat the crap out of these things. The F-150, which is like same year as the C10, just went down with a transmission issue. Because Ford transmissions. I'm saying a lot. That's because I'm collecting my thoughts. So I would still go with the F-150 though, because the F-150 has had so much more done to it. So somebody's run into it and it's still running, but the Chevy just feels like it's going to fall apart faster. So that's why I'm going with Ford, is because I've seen, cars or trucks that have had 20 years of abuse piled onto them, and the Ford seems to have held up better just as a machine, except for the transmission.
Between these three on the screen, I'm gonna go with the Chevy.
Which interests me, but I understand why.
They're just reliable. I mean, they always brag about this in commercials, but it's actually true. It is the longest lasting truck on the road. It just goes and it doesn't stop. Now, you're talking about the Raptor versus
the Colorado.
Versus the Colorado.
The Raptor wins.
Yeah, I'd say I still don't because I'm not the Raptor. What did I say? Raptor Ranger. Sorry. I'd have to go with the Colorado. For that one too. Though if you're looking to go a higher end truck, you might as well get a Raptor. Over a like a King. Is it King Ranch for Silverado, or is that Ford? Whatever or Platinum, whatever it is. If you're gonna go get a better truck, you might as well just get a Raptor because it's gonna do everything you could possibly want it to do. And Ram can just go die. I don't know how the modern ones are, but
they're okay at least.
I'm sure they're better quality now, but I don't have the trust in them.
The one thing I will give Ram is that they did put the Viper engine in one.
Yeah.
And like I would say performance-wise, before the Raptor, Ram was at the top of the heap.
Yeah. But yeah, I'd say Chevy overall though. And I do love the Ford Raptor.
I would go with Ford just because.
And that's fair. I mean, it's the best-selling car in the world.
Reliability more or less.
I mean, new cars you can't say about the reliability,
True.
but
I just say overall,
hands down, the last 15 years of trucks, it's been the Silverado for reliability for me. Now Ford, it's so much easier if you're gonna just build fix it. That's what I'm working for. Fix it yourself. It's so much easier to find parts for. That's definitely true. So there's also that, but yeah, I don't know.
All right, so
though if anyone cares, I'd definitely go with the Toyota Tacoma for a truck. No one cares though. But
are we good on those?
Yeah, we should be good on time.
So coming to the last bit, we've done the boring stuff. So normal cars and SUVs.
Trucks are exciting.
Crossovers, and then we've
so
done
is
trucks.
the Grand Cherokee.
But now performance.
What do you want to look at first? We because looks are a huge part of this. We got to look at them.
Let's look at like the muscle car area of things.
Okay, and first one is of course
Ford Mustang. So Ford Mustang, as far as performance, this is the American sports car.
And it's not muscle anymore.
It's not muscle anymore.
Oh.
You love the fastback.
Oh, I love the fastback.
It's not muscle anymore.
I mean, wait, did they? I can't remember. Did they switch to V6 or is it still
V8? You can option all the way up to a V8. You can also get it in 4-cylinder with a turbo.
Fair enough.
That is not a first. If you look up the Fox Body Mustang, which I saw a bunch of them while I was on spring break, those were also 4-cylinder turbos. You can get them.
Yeah.
Which
it's not cool. We've said on this program before, and I might be one of the ones that have gone missing. But if it is not a V8, it is not a muscle car.
Yeah.
So the standard Ford nowadays is not a muscle car.
Yeah. It's a sports car. It's a pony car, as it were.
Yeah. So it's what your parents buy you if they're rich and you're the only child. I mean, it's the option, right?
So you have this is ultimately the face of American performance. For Ford, you also have the Fiesta ST.
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's just pull these up so we can look at them real quick as we go along.
Fiesta ST.
Mm-hmm.
You have the Focus ST.
Are you sure it's the ST you want to know the RS?
There's also the RS.
Isn't the RS the better one? I thought it was.
I guess, yeah.
That's at least the one that was discontinued.
It looks nicer.
It looks nicer. I think that's the one that they discontinued. Did they discontinue the ST for the Focus as well?
I'm not sure.
I think it was just the RS that they discontinued it, and everyone who likes cheap hatchbacks were mad like me.
I'm trying to think of other. You have the old Ford Thunderbird. No, hold on. The Ford Gran Torino, but that's.
Well, we're talking about modern stuff.
Yeah, we're talking about modern stuff. I like to call back to other stuff.
Let's keep the hatchbacks and the Mustang.
And then you have
we got the Shelby though. That's important. We gotta get the Shelby.
You also have the Ford GT.
Yeah. Ford GT. Yeah, I forgot about that one.
The blue.
That's a good one.
There we go.
Oh yeah, I do like that.
It looks pretty nice.
It bothers me on some levels, but we can talk about it later. We'll leave the Shelby out actually because that's more like a gap car.
Yeah, that's sort of like a. That's sort of like a Yenko Corvair.
All right, and for GM,
GM, you have.
It's the why am I blanking on their name? The Italian company.
GM, you have the Camaro.
hatchback. Isn't GM the one who bought why can't I Fiat?
No, that's Dodge. Fiat.
That's what I meant. Yep. Let's go with that.
Okay, for Dodge you have the Fiat Abarth. And in that, if you go to images, you have this cool baby, and then you have a Miata. If you go down there, right, there, it's basically a Miata and also a very fast 500.
Right, we'll lump that with them.
Then for Dodge, going on Dodge, you have the Challenger, which is the cool one, and you have it up to the Demon, which is crazy horsepower.
Yeah, we're gonna stick with this one though. With
a Mustang, you have the Charger, which is also, it's a cop car. I still say it's sporty. I think it's personally, it's been ugly for a long time. Like that, I find that very ugly.
Let's pick a better color.
Still ugly.
Still ugly.
The rear end's real nice. If you want to pick that one. Do the white one.
No?
Yeah.
Right.
Real ugly, but...
That's okay.
Oh well.
Now the Challenger, so we gotta classify this. Are we calling this a muscle car?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay,
V8.
so we're gonna stick this.
You can get it.
That's supercar, but we're gonna stick it over there.
And then this is also a muscle car.
Okay.
And then you have the Dart GT, which I don't know if we count, because it's kind of like the neon SRT.
Well, they need something.
It's not a hatch per se, but it's nice enough. It fits the same.
Let's not use it.
Let's not use it.
What else does Dodge got?
The Viper.
Duh. Clipper? What?
Viper.
I'm watching Vippler. Oh yeah.
Why
was I wanting to put an L in there?
I don't know. And the Dodge Viper is a supercar.
Yeah. There's no debating that.
Chevy has...
Oh, hold on.
Find a good one.
I'm choosing the picture.
The blue one with the stripes is real nice.
This one?
Yeah. Classic Viper.
It's horrible like behind it. Okay. Chevy.
And then Chevy has the Corvette and the Camaro. And you can pick anyone, because that's...
Not nose.
Images. Here we go. How are we doing on time, by the way?
We're fine on
okay.
time.
Corvette.
I've been watching it. And
Camaro. Just one A. Camaro. This is actually one we care about. After this, we'll do luxury as well.
No, you couldn't call him this muscle, right? We're gonna lump it with the Mustang at least.
The Camaro is a weird animal for me, because I don't think it counts.
Well, it's kind of like, it's more like the Mustang. We're gonna have to put the two muscles against these guys.
Because I feel like the Challenger's the only true muscle car, but at the same time,
I choose fastback. Ford wins.
Because you can get like a beefed up Camaro, but I feel like it's still always the ugly younger brother of the Mustang. Because look at this Mustang. I personally am not the biggest fan of this rounded design, but I still think it looks better than that.
So can we just kill the Camaro right now?
Yes, kill the Camaro.
Camaro's gone.
Camaro's gone. The Challenger is the only true muscle car, I feel.
Yeah. So that.
Kill the Charger.
So we're gonna leave that to
for performance.
Yeah.
I feel the Charger, because they made it a cop car.
I'm with the Mustang on this one.
I'd kill the Charger. I couldn't do the Charger. So
well, real quick, let's grab one of the Mustangs that's actually a muscle car.
GT 500 2016. or not 2016. 2020 or not 2019.
I didn't mean that. Thank you, Google. It really wouldn't matter at all.
This is a complete beast. They just released it in the Detroit Motor Show, and like it is a killer car, and I love it. It's got real performance. And the like,
so the Mustang one on the sporty regular.
Yeah,
40, I guess.
This feels like, for example, you can get a Challenger, or you can also get a Demon. You can get a Mustang, or you can also get a Cobra.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you put Challenger versus Mustang, even with I think you can get a V6 Challenger.
Or do you want Cobra or Demon?
Demon.
Yeah. That looks more like a good challenge to the Shelby.
Yeah, those are.
They also look way better too.
The same sort of philosophies.
See, I've always loved the Demon, and I've always loved the Shelby. Which hurts.
I find, like, for modern cars, I think I like the Challenger, but if you put the Challenger up against the old Challenger, the new Challenger is kind of butt ugly.
Yeah.
It's kind of an ugly car. The only reason we like this car is because it's a good car.
That actually looks nice.
Yeah, the wide body.
That's a good gray.
The Demon is only good because of it only looks good because of what it can do, which is beat everybody, and also for $1 you can buy the drag kit for it.
I depending on the color, I actually like the look of the I can like the look of the Demon, but like in that yellow or that red, it's just there's no way.
Put it next to the Alfa Romeo, which is also technically Dodge, weirdly enough, because of the Fiat Chrysler merger. The Alfa Romeo 4C. This is a good-looking modern car.
Yeah, but...
And of course, this has the Italian styling, and it's always better. But you can make a modern car that looks good.
I don't think this looks bad though. I mean, the color choice of this yellow is like a throw-up yellow. It's horrible. Yeah. This red is okay, but I don't actually like it that much. I prefer maybe either you got to either go deeper or you got to brighten it up. I mean, this is a weird in between.
This Challenger styling reminds me of the 1980s, right? Where you have cars that like look powerful.
That looks nice. I like that.
Like, it looks nice, but there are more elegant, better designs out there. This is me trashing on the Challenger for looking kind of like a brick on wheels.
But I think that's one of the things they were going for. They were going for, hey, let's go back and make a muscle car. Yeah. Let's make a proper muscle car that's going to look like a muscle car is supposed to look. Mm-hmm. And I appreciate that.
That's why I feel...
And it's a muscle car now. And the Shelby, yes, I think this one's gorgeous, the concept for the 2020. But actually, is that concept or is that real?
That's the real one for the 2020.
Yeah. Well, I think it looks great. But at the same time, it has that, I'm still trying to be a sports car feel. I'm still trying to catch up over with the Corvettes or something like that. Whereas it's fine, but that's American muscle.
Yeah, this is American muscle, and this is why on the Mustang, Challenger, Camaro line.
Camaro's been gone for
Camaro's been gone. The Camaro is always bad. But I feel like the Challenger wins out just because it is a muscle car.
Yeah, I can agree with that. And Shelby's a muscle car.
Shelby's a muscle car.
It's got the V8. It's.
But if you have a Challenger lower model, like not your premium Hellcat.
Yeah.
Not your SRT, not your RMT.
Yeah, if you're talking about the lower models, the Mustang's gonna win. I mean, there's no doubt. But when you're talking up here with
I'm talking lower models in general. Like, I think a lower model Mustang is worse than a lower model Challenger.
Really?
I mean, they're gonna both be expensive. I think the lower model Challengers are gonna be more expensive.
That's fair.
Not have as great handling. I don't think they make a convertible version. But I will take that. Go to the lower model Challenger. I will take that over a lower model Mustang. Because I don't think they offer a 4-cylinder version of this. This will just have more power. It was always meant to, versus a 4-cylinder Mustang. And that's why, like, usually angry guys drive Challengers, and like rich girls drive Mustangs. Like that whole stereotype is there.
No, that's fair. I just like the thing is, I think honestly I think it's just a hood scoop on the Demon that I like.
But styling
that changes it so much for me.
Styling wise, I love the Mustang so much more. But when you're talking performance,
no,
not flexing for Instagram.
No, and you're right, but I can't. Styling's so much of it for me. I mean, this is a work of art. And the performance and the look of it, both together, are a work of art. And for me, I just like the Mustang better lower end. And I like the.
So if we're talking lower end, I'll take the Mustang styling. But I think the lower end Challenger.
All right, back to the matter end. So we're deciding on the Demon, right?
Yeah, we're deciding on Dodge. Dodge is winning the muscle car.
Goodbye, Shelby. I love you.
Dodge just wins the muscle car. Part.
This is bad. Oh, it's bad.
So
now to the hot hatches.
I think Ford wins.
Does this? I'm sorry. I know I brought Fiat up, but does it actually count as? I don't think this counts.
It counts because it's under the Chrysler umbrella. Just like Jeep
as
counts.
Of what, 3 years, 4 years?
It's been there for a while.
Okay.
It counts. Also, you couldn't catch me dead driving a Fiat Abarth 500. But I would drive the heck out of that Miata frame which is. It's just a Miata frame with Italian styling, and I really enjoyed that.
Fair enough.
But in the hot hatches, in the smaller.
Can we just take this out? I just hate the Fiat. Okay, so now we're down to Ford.
Ford. I think the Ford wins the low end.
Sports.
Hatch.
Yeah.
I think the
RS is just solid. It looks good. It's quick. Now there's a the Hyundai. What's it called? Hyundai.
Veloster.
Yeah, Velociter. That's a close race for the.
I prefer the Veloster to this.
Focus in the Veloster. But
I feel the Veloster has more personality.
I agree with that.
But this does not matter because we're talking about American cars, so I go with the Focus. I don't think there's not really a competitor with Chevy. There's like Sonic Performance, Chevy Sonic Performance. And then you had the Dodge Dart GT.
Let's throw the Durango in there.
Yeah, this is just Ford does well at this.
Or the Bronco, and just something
So
smaller.
supercars, Ford GT, Corvette, Viper. One of these cars is not in production anymore.
I wonder which one.
So, let's just talk styling first, because I know there's something that bothers you about the GT.
I can't tell you what it is. I really can't. I actually do love the GT. I love it, but at the same time, I hate it. I like how it looks, and I don't like how it looks. Everything about it's fine except for the gas mileage. It's a supercar. It'll have bad gas mileage. This has particularly horrible gas mileage,
for
a supercar. But its performance is fine. It's something about it bothers me. The styling, and I don't know what it is. I know the doors bother me when they open and close, and getting in and out. But other than that,
the funny thing about these cars is that all of the 3 cars that we've brought up for the supercar type offering, they all have different exhausts. This has high mounted center exhaust. The Corvette has quad exhaust, and then the Viper has side dump exhaust.
Give me your butt, Corvette. Oh, that's probably not. Yeah. What's the
rear quad exhaust?
Yeah, rear is nice.
Versus high mounted versus side dump exhaust.
Which we're gonna look at somewhere.
That red one.
Which red one?
Down, there, next to the silver one. What? Yeah, that one right there. There it is.
Oh yeah, okay.
This is like a first gen Viper right there.
But it's still there. What was that lovely
so,
one I was looking at?
So one of these cars has a V10. This car has a V10.
Yeah. Which, I mean...
Which immediately puts you in supercar territory.
Yeah. This is past muscle. Of course, this thing can turn very well.
And of course, it's the American supercar that is muscle.
Yeah, it's the I don't care how mid-engined you are. I don't care how foreign or European you are. I'm gonna beat you on every single straight and and I'm gonna get through the corners just fine.
It's much better than a Corvette. I feel this is Dodge looked at the Corvette and said we could do better.
Yeah.
And also we can also
now Corvettes. Can we actually classify the Corvette as a supercar right now?
If you look at the higher end of the Corvette, definitely.
Okay.
It puts out the numbers. It just puts out the numbers.
Yeah, it does. It does.
And
now, of course, to come out of the mid-engine, we talked about the mid-engine a lot in one of our episodes. Oh my.
We had a conversation on the mid-engine.
Ooh, I like that one.
Look at this. Look at this. This is the ZR1, I believe.
Yeah, I think that's a good comparison.
It puts out numbers. It does it. And just because it doesn't...
Is this running a V6 or V8? I actually don't know.
V8.
Okay.
I mean, I think you might be able to get it with a V6, but...
Why would you?
Why? The problem is, and the Viper kind of faced this a little bit, is even though it puts out numbers, it's still front engine, rear wheel. It doesn't have any of the cool mid-engine stuff.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you look at the original Corvette, which was... It was looking at Triumph. It was looking at little European roadsters. That's what it was styled to be.
There it is.
Not that one. Like the
Not
C1 Corvette.
Oh, the C1. Okay.
And it was a luxury car. That one right there. See, that was meant to be what was it was basically the Miata class. It was a fun little personal luxury car, Miata class. You were a little rich. You were maybe a dentist.
Yeah.
And then it hasn't been able to shake that. It's always been just a little bit luxury. And that's why you have the ZR1 package. You have the Z06, which is a little different.
Oh, this bothers me. Who did that? Oh my gosh, they should be shot.
Art. Concept art, ignore that.
They should be shot.
But the ZR1, last and best of its kind, because 2020 we go into the C8 and into that glorious mid-engine night.
I think we agreed that's bad. It's bad because they're not changing the name.
Yeah, it's
bad because they're not changing the name.
If they just called it the Stingray and kept making little C7s.
Yeah. Yeah.
Personally,
there's no such thing as a mid-engine Corvette. Yeah. There never will be. Whatever they're gonna make is not a Corvette.
I'm looking forward to the mid-engine
Corvette. Oh, me too. It's just not a Corvette.
But
it's not a Corvette. It's not a Corvette. It can't be. But I think we even talked about this. This is muscle. I mean, it's just kind of like the Viper.
This is beyond muscle. This is beyond.
This is beyond muscle, but it still has the the roots in muscle cars. Even though you got the C1, yeah. Where'd it go?
It was up there.
You got the C1. That's not muscle. But they were like, hey, why don't we do what Ford's doing? Mm-hmm. And then it evolved into this amazing thing.
You know the Ford Thunderbird?
Mm-hmm.
That was a competitor to the Corvette at one time.
Really?
Just the Corvette went more sporty and the Thunderbird went more luxury.
Yeah.
What I think, what I would have loved to see, and I think we talked about that with Corvette earlier, what I would have loved to see would be the mid-engine breaks into the Stingray, the Corvette Stingray maybe as like a trim package, and then the Corvette, this Corvette, the C7, downsizes more to a Miata / BRZ type, like smaller, little zippy luxury car.
Yeah.
Or zippy sporty car, like a lot smaller than this kind of massive monstrous hood. And then you left the power for the Stingray and you went back to more of the roots.
Yeah. Okay, and then so Corvette, that sporty muscle, Dodge Viper, that super muscle, I should say. Dodge Viper, that super muscle.
I think the Dodge Viper wins the supercar battle because it's the only one that has
Well,
supercar
we haven't talked about
cylinders.
the GT yet.
Okay.
Not really.
The GT...
So I think I finally figured out was my problem with it. It's the intakes in the back.
Yeah.
Look at that. I mean, it's like it takes it out like another foot on either side.
And also, if you look, there's holes in it. Those little buttresses.
Yeah.
That's like actually a hole to let air flow around it.
Is this downforce then?
That's downforce in the front, but right there's actually a hole right there.
Oh, really?
You can see if you like you can.
What do you think about the looks? I finally figured out what I.
It looks like a spaceship to me. I like the fact that they're always it's the Ford GT and it was always meant to beat Ferrari. And I like the way it looks.
I hate it. I like
more
it.
or less because it
I
does
don't hate
call
it.
back.
It's eh.
Like the tail lights call back to the original Ford GT. They're round. They're cool.
Yeah.
But who wins in this fight?
Not
the Corvette.
Well, let's take it down first.
Okay.
In my opinion, I'd take the Corvette over the GT. The GT.
That's fair.
The reason, because we are talking about American cars.
Yes.
And these two have the heritage, mainly in the engine.
So does the GT. The GT has heritage going back to the 60s because that's when they built the original GT.
Well, no, I don't. Heritage is the wrong word. It has the
Reputation?
It's still it holds on to what American cars are about.
Yeah.
Pooping out power. Now this does too, and this is too. It's just the superchargers for it, whatever. But they made it, like you said earlier, they made it to look like Ferrari. They made it European. I just don't.
I appreciate the mid-engine because that does help.
Of course, it does.
I would take this above the Corvette, simply because I feel it has the Corvette. As much as you might like, push rod, rear engine, rear wheel drive, front engine. As much as I like that, I do feel that it's hard to respect the Corvette as anything more than an old man car.
That is fair. Okay, so I think we're both going the same direction with this. Correct me if I'm wrong, but we would both take the Dodge Viper.
The Dodge Viper absolutely wins performance.
Yeah.
Simply, it has the cylinders
great.
to back it up.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you can look at those, like, the vents in the
Corvette's
hood,
gone.
and look at the vents in the hood and say, ooh, that's ugly, right?
I love it. I think it looks great.
That doesn't matter because it can put down rubber. It
just looks bad. I mean,
yeah.
It looks like it's gonna take your head off when it comes at you.
And then, like, the door kind of, like, the kind of cutout vents before the door, it just looks good.
Like, that looks good facing, like, in the side, like here. That looks good.
Yeah, I tend to like the less mutilated front ends, like this older one.
Yeah.
They're just they're like the ultimate muscle car, so much that they became a supercar. And I appreciate that about them. Dodge has always been more performance based, and now they're really performance based.
Like that front end. Is it? Yeah, it's 2016. Yeah. Okay. But
they've always been more performance based, and I appreciate that.
This one's hands down, I think. Yeah, and unlike the GT, the scoops work. They're not really scoops, are they? They're just cutouts. But yeah. So we're on the Viper for this.
Absolutely.
One. Okay. So
we have Ford Mustang.
Now we talked about everything else and went over that, but Ford Mustang wins the sports. Sporty, cheaper sporty-ish.
Cheaper sporty.
Mid sporty, I guess.
Sports versus muscle. Dodge Challenger.
Mix it. Let's call it the muscle sports. Let's call it that. They win the muscle sports. The Demon with Dodge. They I wouldn't say hands down, but they
win the muscle.
They win the muscle for sure. Focus RS
wins the sporty.
There's not much to go against it. They just win.
The only offerings that go against it just lose because they didn't have any thought put into it. Because this is straight up rally. Yeah.
And of course, the Dodge Viper for your supercar.
So we have two v2, more or less.
Yeah. Chevy didn't win any of this.
So who wins this?
I think you got to say Dodge though, because the ones that matter, the big ones, they win.
Yeah.
Right? Because the Focus, yes, that is great. It's a cheaper car. It's great, but it costs $30,000. Mm-hmm. It still costs $30,000 used, which is nice. Yeah. But it's because they stopped making them.
I feel the Mustang base model.
We're looking at the lower Challenger versus the Mustang.
Because what matters in performance is performance.
Yeah.
How are we doing on time?
We probably should end pretty soon. But anyway, so Dodge, I'd say wins sports just because of their good sports, their finishing of it. Of course, I say Chevy wins on trucks. Mateo is still on Ford.
I'll agree with you that Chevy wins on trucks just because that C10 I have at work, it does, like, as cheap as it is, it does still work.
Oh, but have you seen those refurbished C10s? Oh, beautiful, beautiful. No, they're not trucks at that point. They're show cars, but I love them. So Chevy wins on trucks.
And also they came out with the Blazer.
Excuse me, GM wins on trucks.
GM wins on trucks.
Chevy wins on trucks. So crossovers, I think we agreed Dodge just because of the Jeep. Yeah, the Jeep. The Jeeps.
Chrysler wins on crossovers. SUVs, we went with Jeep again.
Yeah,
right?
Dodge. It's just the Grand Cherokee. It blows them away.
The Compass. And also, I think morally, you can only go with Jeep for a crossover.
Yeah.
An SUV, I think it just wins.
If you go with anyone else for a crossover, it's because you're a soccer mom. I mean, there's no other.
You go with Nissan.
Yeah. Well, at least when we're talking American cars, there's
and then
Nissan's fine.
Performance, of course, Dodge wins. So that brings us to the last one, and this is the one that you can actually say Chrysler as a brand and not just Chrysler as the corporation. Luxury cars.
Right, luxuries. I really forgot about that.
You have...
Does Ford have luxury?
Ford has Lincoln.
Oh, okay. I know nothing about luxury.
So, if you just type in Lincoln, that's how you spell Lincoln.
That'll give us cars at least.
I'm going to not talk about the SUVs because I hate luxury SUVs.
What? And,
yeah, that's for like a disabled passenger or something like that. So, click up on that 2017 Continental. It's pretty nice. Go next to the Chrysler 300 because we don't talk about the Chrysler 200.
Okay, I'm gonna take your word for that.
The Chrysler 200 is just kind of like a rental car, basically. Yeah, that one right there.
Okay, that looks a lot more like a luxury.
Chevy has GMC and Cadillac. So type in Cadillac CTS. So you look at the Cadillac CTS. I find that look
at that. That's so weird. That nose down.
Cadillac is weird. So Cadillac has come out with the CTS V Coupe, which is like you can drag race these.
So are we sticking with these three?
Yeah, these three. These are the main luxury. You could also put a Buick in, and I think Buick is really good.
Is Buick German, or wasn't it German at one point?
No. Oh. It just has the Opel Vauxhall. It's all on on the same badge engineering. I think the Lincoln wins. Because, okay, you look at the Chrysler 300, it is rear-wheel drive. Front engine rear-wheel drive.
I hit that nose, too.
Keep going. Down, there's that one right there. It's, yeah. That's the CTS
I just
Coupe.
don't like it.
There's a V, which is, you can, like it's like 500 horsepower sometimes. Yeah. But this Cadillac feels too...
sporty?
It feels like it's trying to juggle that sportiness.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing too.
Have you seen all those?
No, I don't know anything about it, so.
All the old like luxury performance cars from the 80s.
Yeah.
Where it's like it's a personal luxury car, but it also has a little bit of sportiness, and it's just not good.
Yeah. They're
juggling too many things. And though Cadillac makes great engines, I believe Cadillac won the 12 hours of Sebring this year. It was in one of their, like, you know, experimental cars. It wasn't one of these cars. But they won. And, can say the same. They have good performance. Their V performance is very good. But as a car, like as an actual luxury car, I couldn't do a modern Cadillac.
Okay. And Chrysler.
This is the same platform as what's been going around since before 2008. It's a German. Originally, like Mercedes, like helped build this platform, and they just have been trucking on the same platform forever. That's why people kind of stereotype this as the drug dealer car.
Gotcha.
And it's just been the same car forever, and they haven't really done anything new. And then you have the Lincoln
I just like the look of it better.
It looks like the 300, but it's better.
It looks like a sleek. Well, the problem with the 300, it's so big. I mean, you can see the Mercedes. You can see the Mercedes in it. But
the
it's just
Continental's
sleeker.
Still big.
Well, yeah, but it just doesn't look overly big. If you know what I mean.
They've updated it.
Yeah. They've kept up with the looks of the time.
And of course
this one tried to, but then this happened, and
I mean that you are looking at a V, so that's the performance version.
Oh, okay.
The CTS still feels very 2008.
Yeah. And then you have just this whole thing, which
still feels very 2008 because it's still from 2008.
Yeah. And then it just looks better. The only thing I can go off is looks, and I'm going with Lincoln.
Yeah. I would say the Chrysler, probably the best thing it does is a minivan, and that's just because it's a different version of the Grand Caravan. Lincoln I feel that this Lincoln is probably the best in its class for luxury. That and the new Cadillac CTS has some fun like technology things, but the Lincoln I just feel wins.
Yeah.
Now the problem is we're comparing luxury cars, and everything is in luxury SUVs right now.
True. But we are quite out of time, and I don't like SUVs.
You don't like SUVs.
Yeah.
The good thing I can say for Chrysler is there's no Chrysler SUV, right now.
True.
But
well, so to recap, Dodge wins sports. Dodge wins SUVs and crossovers, which will count as one.
Yeah, we'll count them as one.
Dodge also won our wait. I'm missing one. Maybe I was counting that.
Sports, SUV, crossovers, trucks.
No, Dodge didn't win trucks.
It didn't win trucks. I'm just counting
Gotcha.
off. Daily driver, crossover, SUV, trucks.
Anyway, Dodge is at 3, I think, with if we're counting SUVs and crossovers the same.
And
then
luxury.
Yeah, luxury. Ford won, so they're at 1, and then they won. That's it, isn't it? Or did we say they won dailies? Who won?
They won dailies.
Dailies. So Ford's at 2, and Chevy's only got trucks.
And that's just because I don't know enough about trucks to care.
So
Dodge wins, weirdly enough.
Dodge wins because they have Jeep.
Dodge wins because they have Jeep, and that was kind of unfair putting SUVs and crossovers.
They really have 4 if you're going to count both of them, because we did look at both of them separately.
That was unfair, and then there's...
So they've won more by more, really.
And then we also kind of combined the sports side of things.
Yeah, Ford has... If we're going to combine all we looked at, Ford really has 2 more points, but Dodge has an extra point as well, so Dodge still wins.
Dodge still wins, weirdly enough. So Chrysler Corporation beat the Ford Corporation. That said, I'm not sure.
Yeah, sorry, Chrysler.
Chrysler.
I mean, it really is though. It's not GM, Chrysler, and Ford. It's Ford, Chevy, and Dodge. It's they might as well change it.
GM as a brand and not as a corporation is just hanging on by a thread.
Yeah, that's true.
I think they're really only kept in there because of like the Chrysler 200 acts as a fleet car.
Yeah. But weirdly
enough, I think Dodge is still probably one of the higher performing ones. I know Ford is really winning in the truck segment. American cars are so weird right now. We're in a really weird transitional period.
And then I just hope it doesn't go electric, but we'll see. Then that is me hoping for no major advantages into battery technology, which
we'll find them one day.
So
thank you all for listening. I'm kind of tired now, and I just came off a day of radio, so my voice is dying.
Yeah. Anyway,
hopefully
this has been
episode
Christopher
saves.
Mateo.
Yeah, Christopher Mateo. This is Ghost Car Speedometer.
It's still broadcasting, so we're not having that issue again. Ghost Car Speedometer. Hopefully, that when you listen to this next, or if you are listening to this for the first time, it is on Ghost Car Speedometer's YouTube, and not on my personal one. Anyway.
Thank you for listening. We'll catch you next time. Goodbye.